Hi everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. We're going to be going over BusinessObjects Explorer. This is a feature that we will get into today. We think it's a great element of BusinessObjects 4.0. I like to start every webinar with our mission statement. Lets you know where we're coming from as a solution provider, and we value you as a partner, not necessarily just a client. We've been around since 1998. Business intelligence is pretty much anywhere that falls in that realm we deal with. We primarily deal with business objects, but we do lots of work outside of just the specific tool of business objects. We have our new Instant Access BI. Basically allows you to have a business intelligence consultant at your fingertips during the workday. Check out our website there. And with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Anthony Spillers, who's going to be giving our demonstration today.
Good morning, as Trent said. I'm Anthony Spillers, and I'm going to be going over SAP BusinessObjects Explorer. I'm going to talk about where it's located, what it is, and then we're going to talk about information spaces within Explorer. We're going to talk about exploration views within Explorer, and then we're going to actually talk about how to create an information space, and then which leads into the exploration view. So basically, Explorer is located, it's a tool that you download and install. It's a package that is outside of business intelligence that you install. And you can access it once it's installed either through the BI Launchpad as an application, or you can launch it through its own application itself. So basically from a BI Launchpad setting, you can log in. Let's log in here. So there's multiple ways from a BI Launchpad. You can go into the applications once you have the application installed and go to Explorer and select Explorer to launch the Explorer. Or if you just want to see a information space, you can always go find an information space that's within your documents and just see the information space from there. So for example, for us, here is a Explorer information space. So if I double click on that, that will actually take me into the information space where then I can create an exploration view. But for the demonstration today, we're just going to go ahead and go another route, and we're going to put in Explorer in our URL and actually log into the application, the web application itself, and do our navigation and our demonstration today. So when you get logged into the application or the Explorer, the web application for Explorer itself, what will happen is you will land on basically your home screen is what I like to call it. So it'll do a loading of the information, and then you'll land on your home screen. And from here, what you're seeing is basically the information spaces that have already been created that you can go in and make your exploration views. And then there's a search bar right in the middle of the top here, and that search bar, you can actually put in keywords, or you can also put in dimensions or measures that are within these information spaces to look for specific information spaces that you might want to look for or do your exploration view. So like, for example, I can type in Mexico here and do a quick search, and it's going to give me all of the areas that have Mexico in it. So for example, the webinar that we're going to do today, or the webinar that I've already got set up, already has in the dimensions the city Mexico and country Mexico. So this search not only does searches for measures and dimensions within the information spaces, but you can also search keywords that you set up within the information space. So when we actually create an information space later in the demo, I'll show you where the keywords get put into the information space itself. Also in this area is the manage spaces. This is where you actually manage information spaces, and you can create your information spaces from universes. When you create an information space from a universe, it has to be the .unix. It's the new universe format. You can also do it from Excel spreadsheets. So if you have Excel spreadsheets, you can always upload those on this front screen. But for today's demo purposes, we're going to be using universes already converted into a .unix. So basically, what is the tool really for, right? It's basically a data discovery application that allows you to retrieve answers to your business questions quickly and directly through visual analysis. So it's a nice tool to be able to do charting through, or just drill down on large sums of data to come up or generate the answers that you have for general questions that you have. So maybe like, you know, what's going on with my sales in a particular region. I can take this information space and do an exploration view down to a particular region and look at that information in a visually pleasing format. So what exactly is an information space? I keep saying information space. Well, it's a collection of objects that map data to a specific business operation or activity. Data in an information space is organized in data sets called facets. So let me go ahead and open up one of these information spaces, and I'll kind of walk you around an information space basic layout. So I'm going to go into this webinar information space that we've already created. I'm going to kind of go through the basic layout of an Explorer here. So on the left-hand side are the measures or the information that we're trying to kind of narrow down or get the information from. And then on the right-hand side are what is called facets in Explorer. I think it's just a fancy term for a way to filter the data. And basically, as you're working your measures or selecting the measures that you want and then going through your facets, what you have down at the bottom is kind of the view or the tables or the visualization of the data as you're going through and narrowing down the information. Okay, so basically what we're going to do here is we're going to take this information space that we have, and we're actually going to create an exploration view. So we're going to go ahead and grab one of these measures. So we're going to do a net sales here, and I'm going to leave the net sales by year. That's fine with me, and quarter and the month. And let's just do it by country. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on the United States here. And what that'll do is you'll notice it'll shift the data throughout my Explorer view. So down here it shifted the data in the charts. It shifted the data in this little table here. And then you'll also note further down in the facets, you'll notice the cities, the lines, and the categories all updated according to the region or the country that I picked. So it's pretty intuitive when it comes to making selections. Like I can go further up the pipe here and I can do 2012, okay, and it'll keep my country, but now it'll do my year, and then further down the line again, you'll note that it'll update the data not only through here, but it'll also update the data down here in my views. If there is a particular facet that you want to get rid of, right, the facets are now being placed in this little bar right here underneath where the facets are. There's an X symbol here, and you can always click on the X to remove the facet if you no longer want that particular facet in your view. Okay? And then down at the bottom is kind of where the analysis takes place. Okay? On the left-hand side, we have all the different kinds of ways to do the analysis. We can do basically, you know, a comparison, a percentage, a trend, all that good stuff is listed through here. So in the comparison, right, we have all these different ones. We can do different bar charts. Okay, we can do horizontal, vertical bar charts. We can do stacks, so on and so forth. We can do pie charts or percentages, right? We can do pie chart. We can do kind of like a visual representation of how big stuff is versus how little other things are. And then trending, of course, go in and do a trend. Okay, so right, we have a trend. So in 2009, our net sales was really high, but as we went along, our net sales, well, actually, I apologize. We got to actually format these. The year here, actually put them in order. So I'm sorry, 2008 was not so good year. 2009 appears to be the best year that we've had according to the trending, and then 2012 we're starting to trend down again. So this area down here is basically where your visualization analysis comes from, and then up at the top, this is where you do your filtering, the facets to drill down to get your business answers on the questions that you have. So right off the bat, right, we're seeing the trending. So our sales in 2008 are not so good. Our 2012 is trending down. So with the Explorer, it allows us to get at a bunch of data and make it into a very visually pleasing tool, but it also allows us to answer those questions that we have and get at that data and kind of summarize it so it's easier for us to answer those business questions that we have. So is it difficult to create an information space? It's really not that difficult to actually create this. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is go back into your managed spaces, and then on the left-hand side you have the sources on where you can choose from to create your information space. So if there's a particular universe that we have in mind that we want to create an information space, then we just select that universe. And for us, we're going to create an information space off Expo. So we'll select Expo on the left-hand side, and what you'll notice once it loads, you'll see that you'll have all the information spaces that are related to that universe. So the one that we've been working on has been Webinar March. If we want a new one, there's just a new button up here. We click New. Okay, and then from here, this is where we start to create our information space. So we'll put a name in there. We'll just do Info View 1. And then if you remember from the search that I talked about earlier about keywords, well, this is where we put the keywords on a particular information space so that when somebody's searching for something, we can always put some keywords in here. So we can say revenue, just put revenue in there. And then folder, this is where you're going to place that, you're going to place the information space. So if you notice when I was logged into BI itself, or Business Intelligence itself, I had navigated to a folder that had an information space already in it. This is basically where those information spaces are stored, is on the Business Intelligence server. So you would go in here and select the folder that you'd want this saved to, right? So we can do public folder demonstrations. Okay, regional settings, English. The universe that we're using is Expo. Okay, objects. This is where we actually start to build the information space, and this is where we pull the dimensions and measures out of the universe and actually create the information space to do the drilling or the creating the facets and whatnot. So already we have a measure of occurrences, but we want other measures in there. So we want revenue or things that are kind of dealing with sales and margin and so on and so forth. So we can select all these and then put them over, and they automatically go into our measures. Now facets, again, right, allows us to kind of do filtering on that particular information. So for us, let's do some time. So I can add all of these. All right, and again, you'll notice that got placed under the facets. So this is going to be our drillable. Now, something that in the facets that I like to do is grouping. So the ability to do grouping, and what that does is it allows you to link these dimensions together semantically so that they can be displayed in a specific order. Okay, so in order to group these, it's fairly simple. I just highlight all of the ones that I want grouped, and then up here in the right-hand corner, there is a create a group. And with that, it creates a facet group. Now, I can rename this facet group right to time, and now this group is grouped together according to time. Now, there's another piece to grouping, and you'll notice the facet display. This gives you different options on the order of the facets. Now, you have show facets in the defined order, which basically means that the order that we're seeing in the object selection here is the order that you'll see within the information space. Now, the next one is a show representative for each group. So basically what that is one facet for each group is displayed in initial sort order by default. Okay? The first facet in each group is displayed. But the user can choose which representative facet is given display order by clicking the facet group. Okay? And then the last one is order facets by filtering capability. And basically what that is that's turning over the ordering to Explorer itself, and Explorer goes in the background and decides which one is optimized for the number of unique rows available. Okay, so that's the different ways of ordering these facets. Again, the default one is this first one, which you actually define the order that you want. Okay, so once I kind of have all the measures and I have the facets that I want, there's a validate button down here. And basically, we're just validating to make sure that there's not going to be any issues with this information space. Everything should work appropriately. So right again, the data definition is correct. It does not require further information. So the validation process is correct. So in order for an information space to work, there's a piece that's called indexing. Okay, so you have to index an information space before it's actually usable. And what that does is it indexes or refreshes the data and metadata in information spaces. So information spaces they can be real time depending upon how you schedule the index to run. Information spaces cannot be real time if you schedule them to run just like one time a day, or they can be real time data if you schedule to run hourly. So in order for information spaces to get data refreshes, you have to go in here and schedule an index. So we can go in here and do none, which is not going to do anything for us because we have to index the information space. So we can do once, okay? And then we put the account that we want to actually run the scheduling. So in order to create an information space, right, you're going to have a user that has creator rights, and then using those creator rights, then you schedule when you want the indexing to occur. So we can schedule it once, or we can schedule it periodically, days, minutes. We can do it minutes, hours. And again, what this is doing is refreshing the pool of data for the information space to pull from. Okay, once you've decided on your scheduling, personalization, we can go in here and personalize the information space and exploration. But I kind of want to go back to objects real quick and kind of touch on the filters piece. If you have row-level securities, you can always go into and create a filter for row-level securities and drop this filter in there. That way you can maintain your row-level security for your particular users. That way when they're using these information spaces, they don't necessarily get at the data that they should be seeing, but only see the data that they should be seeing according to the predefined filter that you have built. With that said, I'm going to turn it back over to Trent for any kind of questions or any other administrative tasks.
Thank you, Anthony. If you have any questions, please use the right-hand side panel. Right there, you can either use chat or questions, and we'll be able to answer anything you may come along. If you have any questions that you would like to take offline or might be system-specific, please let us know. Anthony, we have our first question here, and it's, can you use a text file for an information space?
So I believe the only formats that we have for information spaces are going to be the Excel files. A .xls or a .xlsx are the appropriate formats to upload into a information space to actually create exploration views off of.
Great, and yes, another question we have here is Explorer is available within the 4.0 package. You should have access to it. With that being said, that's all of our questions for today. We value your time, so we'll let you get off. Look for our next webinar in 2 weeks. It's going to be over mapping and dashboards. If you have any questions or topics that you'd like to see covered, please email us. We're always looking for great input. We value the community there. And thank you all for joining, and see you next time.